Let's be honest. Figuring out fitness after 40 can feel confusing. You start asking yourself, am I doing enough? Should I be doing more cardio? Should I just walk? Is that enough? Do I need to lift weights? And then you get 50 different answers, right? Because you scrolling on Google, you're in Facebook groups, and depending on who you ask, they say something different. So if you've been feeling stuck, wondering what actually works for women in perimenopause and menopause and beyond, today I'm going to clear that up. Because I'm going to break down what happens to our bodies when hormones shift and why your old workout routine just isn't cutting it anymore and what you should focus on instead. So if you're new here, I'm Loretta. I'm a certified health and menopause coach, and I help women over 40 navigate the real shifts that happen with hormones, weight, energy, and metabolism with strategies that actually support this season of our life. And so today we're going to be talking about fitness because the truth is what worked in your 20s and 30s and my 20s and 30s just may not work anymore. And to be honest with you, sis, it might actually be working against you. So that's what I want to start with. I'm going to start with what's actually happening in our bodies. So when estrogen, progesterone, and hormones start shifting in our bodies, our body becomes more sensitive to stress. And that includes even the stress that comes from exercise. So there are three major reasons your workout strategy might be failing you right now. Number one, your focus is cardio only workouts. Okay? Now, let me explain why that can be an issue. Cardio only workouts could possibly be spiking your cortisol. So, if you've been relying on long cardio sessions, running, cycling, or the HIIT classes, I know that was my thing. I did the hour-long HIIT classes. And I was the one who would be there at 5 o'clock in the morning, working out fasted, because for me that's the only way to go. So I would go there fasted, thinking that that's the way I was gonna burn my fat, and I had to get there by a certain time so I can get my treadmill. Like, you hear me? I'm claiming the treadmill, but I wanted my treadmill at this fitness studio. And that was my concentration. I did all the things. Then you had the rowing machine, and they had strength too. But by the time I got to that was the end. I was just waiting for the hour to be over, and so that was fine for then. But now I started finding that works against me. Too much cardio raises your cortisol hormone, and remember that's your stress hormone. And when that gets elevated, that leads to more fat storage, especially around the belly. You know what I'm talking about. That belly fat that's like, whoa, where did it come from? It came like overnight. So I'm not trying to say, hear me well, because I'll get it in the comments. I'm not saying cardio is bad. I like to focus on steady state cardio, walking, maybe hiking, just moderate cardio, because obviously we need it for our heart health. So I'm not saying ditch the cardio. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is that if you're doing excessive cardio, that can backfire more often than it helps. Okay? So number two, ignoring muscle. All right? That's something we can't do in this time. As women over 40 in this season, we cannot ignore muscle. Because see, here's the thing. When our estrogen declines, that our muscle, we're losing our muscle mass. And so here's the kicker. Muscle is what keeps our metabolism running. Meaning that when we have our muscle, it actually we can burn calories even at rest. So if you're not actively building or preserving your muscle, your metabolism can slow down. And what that means your body burns fewer calories. And so that's not what we want. That's like a opposite of what we want. So this is one of the biggest reasons I see women saying, I feel like I'm gaining fat even though nothing's changed. Listen, it's not because we're broken or anything. It's just our bodies are just things that happen differently. And we can't continue to do the same thing because our body has shifted. So listen, we're losing muscle mass, and that's the very thing that keeps our metabolism high. So that's what we need to make sure we are, focus on that. Be intentional about that. Number three, overtraining. We don't want to do that because if we are overtraining, that not only can cause burnout, but it can cause hormonal chaos. Okay, so pushing harder with high intensity training every day. Our bodies needs to rest. But if we're pushing harder with high intensity training every day, or just doing workouts that just leave you exhausted, that can trigger more cortisol. Now here's the thing. That was what I was doing. Okay? So even though I don't think I'm just talking to myself here, but I know that's what I was doing. I was doing the hour workout. It was like a badge of honor for me to walk out exhausted. And that was fine for that season. But as my age increased, I realized that wasn't for me. Now, if it's working for you, it's working for you. But I'm really speaking to the women who have been doing this and they noticed that it's not working the same as it was. In fact, you're noticing that it's backfiring. So it's like a double-edged sword. You don't see results, so you push harder, which makes your body hold on to fat even more. So it's like this back and forth of what you don't want. So this is the hormone loop no one warns women about in their 40s and 50s. So let me just step back for a minute and let's look at what's really happening, all right? And you've been feeling like I'm working out, I'm pushing harder, but my body isn't responding the way it used to. It's not. It's not. It's just not responding the way it used to, and it's not in your head. But sis, your body's not broken, you're not lazy, you're not doing it wrong. It's just that your hormones have changed. And that means your body, it has new needs. So the stress response from overtraining combined with muscle loss from hormonal shifts, that creates the perfect storm for stubborn fat, low energy, and burnout. So listen, sis, the old fitness rule of burn more calories to lose weight, we have to tweak that a little bit, okay? Because it doesn't work the same way anymore. So if you're like overdoing it on the cardio and it's leaving you frustrated, listen, I'm going to give you one simple place to start. One thing you can do right now. First of all, I want you to shift your mindset. Shift your mindset from how many calories did I burn? Because I know it's on our Apple Watch, all the things. Even if you're on a treadmill, it'll tell you, it'll estimate how many calories did you burn. But I want you to kind of shift your mindset from focusing on that and look at how am I supporting my muscle, okay? So instead of chasing sweat and exhausting, because I know that was me. That was my badge of honor. Like if I came out looking whipped, I was like, I did something. But instead of chasing that, this is what I do now. I focus on strength-based movement. So when I say that, and sometimes women be like, I don't want to be a bodybuilder. Look, do I look like a bodybuilder? No. But I focus on strength-based movement. Okay? So what am I doing? I'm focusing on preserving my muscle. And better yet, what I'm asking you to do is not first start with preserving and then building muscle. And so listen, the easiest, most approachable first step is prioritize walking and start adding body weight strength movements like squats, push-ups, even if you can only do wall push-ups, lunges. If you have resistance bands, that's something that's easy. I love them because I have them and I can travel with them as well. They're easy to travel with. And so what I'm saying, we'll start there. Okay, you don't have to go buy a whole workout set and have it in your house, or go to a gym and you're looking like, I don't even have time for that. Okay, start where you are. This combination is going to support your metabolism, lower your cortisol, and support hormones without burning you out. Now, as always, if there's something new that you're adding to your diet or your exercise routine, check with your doctor, because I'm just giving you something simple, because it doesn't have to be complicated. It's just that you have to figure out what works well, and what's the right combination for you for this season of life. And let me say something to you, sis. I'm gonna be real. What works now, you may have to shift a little bit, because what I find, there comes a new symptom. There's something else that'll show up. And so I learned how to get the basics, get the foundation down packed. So now when something shifts, then I work to shift with it, right? So this is why I created the Hormone Reset Masterclass, because our hormones are going to shift. And as they shift, our body requires a different approach to movement, nutrition, stress, and just our overall wellness. So inside this masterclass, I'm going to show you exactly how to build a routine that supports your metabolism, your hormones, and your energy without falling into the trap of doing more cardio, cutting calories, or even counting them. We don't have time for that in this season. Or just even running yourself into the ground. That's not what we're doing. So if this conversation is hitting home for you and you're thinking, okay, this is starting to make sense, then come join me. The link is in the description. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, hit that like button, and make sure you turn on those notifications, hit that bell. So listen, I'm hoping that what I showed you, what I was talking about, has helped clear some things up, put some light on it, so you can understand what's going on in our bodies. And like I said, if it has, make sure you subscribe, because I come on a regular basis with videos. What I focus on is sharing real practical tools for women in midlife, for women like you and I, so that we can help ourselves navigate these hormone changes, the metabolism, and just wellness in a way that's actually sustainable. Because the key of it is not to just come up with just these whatever quick fixes. Is really what we need to find is what's sustainable and works well for us in this season of life, in our current lifestyle. So if you're ready to take the next step to really learn how to support your body in this season, grab your seat inside the free Hormone Reset Masterclass. Like I said, the link is in the description. Listen, sis, this is just a new season in our lives. And as a result, we just need a new strategy that works with our body. And I'm here to help. So I want you to keep showing up for you. And until the next time.